The planet's ecosystems are shutting down. Natural resources are scarce. Chaos and war rage on as the remaining inhabitants reach for the stars. I was able to scrounge up enough cash to get a ship to get to a new colony and cryosleep for the whole journey. But just my luck, something happened with the ship, and I have to fix it. While I prepared myself for what awaits me out there, I never prepared for the worst. I've played the demo for Return almost a year ago at this point, and I remember enjoying it a lot. I loved pretty much everything that I could see from that demo, besides one thing: the visibility during combat. And before I started my full playthrough, I found that there was an option to highlight myself and monsters in combat. This pretty much fixes my main issue that I had with it. Jumping back in the game was relatively easy enough, but the main thing I was soaking in was the atmosphere in Return. As I alluded to in the intro, Return is set in a post-apocalyptic future where the planet is screwed up and the natural resources are rare. I wasn't expecting to have bright colors in a setting like this, but rather just varied locations to explore. Return was able to deliver on that, because there weren't just forests and swamps and a dilapidated factory. There was also a shipyard, and the shores, which was actually my favorite place to be. The characters and monsters being shown as silhouettes with minimalistic pixel art paired with the backgrounds made it very pleasing to look at. I love the aesthetic, and part of why I played and beat the game in 2 long sessions was to see what was next. I did find myself enjoying the bits of lore found in the dilapidated structures, or from the monsters. I'll even give a little shout out to the text crawl at the start because it looked better compared to the demo that I played. But of course, what I focused on the most was the gameplay. In terms of combat, the movement speed of the different enemies will dictate how you fight them. Slow enemies can be kited easier, but deal more damage when you get hit by them, and they seem to have more HP. Fast enemies will catch up to you with your base movement speed. You'll have to switch between dodging and attacking more often. You will likely use both, but you might consider using guns more for the beefier monsters, and melee for the faster ones. That said, I recommend having one of each weapon type, melee and ranged, at all times. Either way, stamina management is 100% key to getting through this game. Melee attacks and rolling use stamina, while attacking with guns does not. If you need more stamina in a pinch, you might want to consider drinking a stamina potion, and get enough to get out of the way. There's also a speed potion, which increases your movement speed, but I kinda used the stamina potion a lot more compared to the speed potion. It's not like I thought the speed potion was useless, it was mostly just a playstyle thing, and that playstyle was essentially me hoarding the bullets all the time. Bullets were so precious to me, I didn't really think to use them unless I was fighting a boss, and even then I didn't simply think to unload the clip. That was until I fought the boss at the mansion that pissed me off. But that's neither here nor there. I enjoyed the combat, but those passive abilities were lacking. In Return, as you level up, you obtain points to increase the stats on weapons, and at specific levels, you will have access to new passive abilities. There are a total of 6, but honestly, I would say that there's only 3, with the other 3 being the upgraded version. These passive skills increase health, give lifesteal, and regen when you avoid all damage for a period of time. I thought something was missing when I initially saw these, but as I continued, I wondered why aren't there any skills that modify weapons or items in any way, encouraging a playstyle. Melee weapons, guns, and maybe even items could all have their own passive ability. For instance, you can have a passive ability called Gun Specialist, where the benefit of equipping it would be increasing the damage, knockback, or both for guns, while decreasing the damage of melee weapons. Something like CQC Specialist would do the same thing, except with melee weapons, increasing the usefulness of melee combat while nerfing guns in some way. The item-based passive only came up in my head because you can find drones and missiles in this game while you're traveling. Drones only last for a little bit and then run out of battery if they're untouched, but it breaks in one hit. Missiles go to the nearest targeted enemy. I figured a skill like this could make drones last a little bit longer, allow the drones to get hit twice and then break, or maybe the missiles shoot out of the drones if they shoot 3 normal shots. I would likely have the trade-off being lowering the damage on guns and melee weapons, but considering this game already has a limited amount of items, that might already be a downside enough. The abilities that are currently in the game would stay the same. Simpler passives with no downsides are fine to have, although I do feel like Battle Hardened in the upgraded version could use a little bit more HP to incentivize using it. Return is fine as is, as I couldn't find any extremely game-breaking bugs, but I just couldn't help but think about stuff like that as I was playing through it and even after completing it. And that's all I have to say about Return. Return is a great atmospheric open world survival game. It's on the shorter side, as I was able to beat it in 6 hours, but there's also a New Game Plus for you to beat as well. The game is $19.99, normally if you are interested, but that choice is yours. That's it from me, I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos on awesome indie games.